just in today's video, we're gonna go over some Succ wizard stuff. Just some of the basics and pretty much what you can do. I'm in BA1 right now, which is kind of always crowded. So I'm just gonna go off into the corner over here, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the skills. So we have the new UI. I really absolutely despise the new UI, but the way you find your skills, or you get a character, you get a skill, and then here you'll pretty much have your skills. So staff attack, you really won't ever really be staff attacking the new one, so you don't really need staff attack too much. Multiple magical arrows, you can level multiple magical arrows, but you don't really need to level multiple magical arrows. You need to get 4 points into your fireball in order to get your prime fireball. I just like prime because it does a lot of damage, and then you can also read the skill. You get knocked down on good hits. You get a stiffness on good hits. It has down attack damage. Pretty much if you get somebody on the floor, you can hit them with either your BAM, Sage's Rage, or Fireball, and then Fireball Explosion. Here we have Fireball Explosion. Gotta get the points in that in order to get Prime Fireball Explosion. Focus. I get the Focus, it has a super armor on it. I have modifiers on it. I have defense and accuracy. So since Succession doesn't have like the insane accuracy modifiers that Awakening has, I like to get accuracy modifiers on a majority of my abilities. We got the Meteor Shower 3, and we get Prime Meteor Shower. So this one does not have the super armor on it. There's another one that does have the super armor on it, but this one actually does more damage. So if you look, you got 1511 times 10, 100% crit rate, plus 10 accuracy rate, maximum 10 targets, and this ability literally will one-shot soft cap players if they stand still. If they try to block it, it'll pretty much break their block, and it'll take 50% of their 50% of the health bar. Just, well, at my AP, I'm at 280 AP right now, so probably around 261, you probably still break someone's block, maybe do 10 to 20% of the health bar, and then if you're below 261, then you can just expect to break their block, which will give you pressure. Other skills, we got Lightning Chain, Lightning Storm. Here, I have high voltage, so you can actually put this on your hotbar, and it'll be a forward guard. So pretty much an example of that, high voltage is on menu, charge it, bam, you can do it immediately. That ability hits extremely hard, and also has the ability at higher APs to just like one-shot people. So we just go a little bit further down. We have Lightning. I have casting speed on it. I have a negative casting speed for when I'm fighting other casters also. So like you can do your skill add-ons how you like. In the upcoming update, pretty much they're gonna allow you to put whatever skills you want on each ability. So that'll be something that you can do. Here we got residual lightning. I got an accuracy modifier on that. I have MP recovery just because like you don't really have good MP recovery. If you're like casting skills quickly, you can run an extra. My bots are on 100% right now, but it's like you can even cast abilities extremely quickly, and it'll pretty much get rid of your mana. So if you don't have bots on, we'll actually take our bots off to show an example. So bots are on 100% right now. You'll be down to like 50% extremely quickly. So just with that, you can actually have your pots off and hit people, and you'll actually recover your mana extremely quickly with that. So if we go a little bit further down, you have Prime Freeze. This move isn't a necessity, it's just something I like. I use it as filler range damage, so if I'll hit somebody with like a fireball explosion, I'll throw a freeze and a couple of MMAs at them. I'm Frigid Fog. I get the super armor Frigid Fog. They're both super armors, but this one's kind of slow. So Frigid Fog Control actually slows people, and Frigid Fog Disrupt slows people. And then Frigid Fog Control actually freezes people. So if you look at it, this ability hits all around you when you use it. So you see that it's actually a really big radius of hitting around you. If you look at the other skill, I'll just uninvest skill points on this to give an example. The other ability actually doesn't hit all the way around. It only hits in front of you. So this skill only hits in front of you. So just like for fighting ninjas, orcs, and stuff like that, you just want an ability that's gonna hit both sides of you. So when they block jump, if they block jump and you have this, like they're gonna be behind you, you won't have the ability to hit them. But with the other frigid fog, you will have the ability to hit behind you and possibly freeze them. Okay, yeah, you take my skill points back out of that because we don't want that. We have Blizzard. Blizzard isn't 100% necessary right now, but I actually have Prime Blizzard Domain. Prime Blizzard Storm actually hits extremely hard. You have the capability of like one-hitting people. We got Domain. I just like Domain personally because it actually just stays around even when you're not casting it. And then it also has minus 16 AP on it for 5 seconds, and then it has a 30% movement speed slow. So what you can do with Domain is you can actually cast Domain. It'll do this, and then like the Blizzard will actually stay around. And if someone tries to engage on you, they're gonna lose 16 AP while standing in this, and you can also cast out your abilities while this is going on. So that's why I like to use Domain, just because it's basically a setup. It's like a trap. Like it's kind of like how you used to have lava field and awakening. You can basically just set up like a blizzard around yourself, and then if someone hard engages on you, then they'll lose the AP. They'll also get slowed, and then you also have the ability to cast abilities while you're standing inside the blizzard. So, one move I didn't talk about is concentrated arrow. There's actually a stiff on this. There's a stiff on good hits, and then there's also minus 15 DP. So this is like, it's not necessary, but if you have the skill points for it, you can level it up. I just don't have it leveled up because like it's not protected or anything, so I really don't feel the need to be throwing too many unprotected abilities while I'm fighting. The next ability that we have is Earthquake. So there's 2 Earthquakes. There is Prime Earthquake Evade, and then there's Prime Earthquake Destruction. So I use Evade just for more movement. Pretty much it's like an extra TP. So the animation is extremely long. So someone engage on you, you can step back, and you can use an Earthquake to get out the way. So in like a lot of my fights, you'll see like I'll TP. If I think that a Lawn or like a ninja will engage on me, you can turn your camera in the direction you want to go, and then you can hit an Earthquake like. So something that I do when I'm fighting is I will hit a TP, and go out an Earthquake, and then you can literally, if you press the button fast enough, you can cancel the Earthquake with Earthquake response. So then TP again, and that just gives you like extra movement on what you're doing. So like, somebody engages on you, Earthquake response, TP. Literally get like halfway across the screen. It's really good for just avoiding like extremely fast classes, like Lawn, Ninja, and stuff like that. What else do we have here? There's the other Earthquake. I really don't use that Earthquake too much, honestly. Just when I'm farming, like I'd suggest putting that on when you're farming, just because like the evade windup is insanely long and terrible. I use Earthen Response Destruction. It gives minus 10 movement speed when you hit them with it. So that's nice. And then I'll generally chain it together with Earthquake, I guess, for more movement and stuff like that. The next ability we have, what are we cooking with now? The next ability that we have is pretty much just your passives. Well, not your passives. This is your ebuff. 20 AP, 15 DP, accuracy, rate, casting speed. So this isn't an AoE, this is just caster specific. It's not like Awakening where you can pretty much hit everybody with it around you, it only hits you. But it's actually a really big buff and really big in killing strikers. So here, I take Voltaic Pulse. Voltaic Pulse is really good with your passive because you can basically chain together abilities of the same nature. So you can do something like Voltaic, 100% sub. So wait. Fireball explosion, Sage's Rage, Freeze, and then throw MMA on the end of it. And then the MMA also has a flow to it that allows you to use MMA twice. So if you press R2 or RT and you hold back, it'll take a with the first MMA, and then it'll do a second MMA on the end of it. So, you have two options. You can go Voltaic. I would suggest Voltaic. Bow Light's kind of slow. The same thing with Equilibrium Break. The only reason I really take Equilibrium Break is like just for filler. I don't use Equilibrium Break a ton, but like Aqua Gel animation is just entirely too slow. It's a really slow animation. I'll show you. Just you're standing still for like way too long. The animation's too slow. There's a really good chance you can grab out of this. Like if you're fighting a fast class like Lawn Ninja, it's a super armor, yeah, and it's a slow, but there's a really good chance that they just walk up and grab you. So you can use it for classes like Succ, depending on their AP. If it's a high AP Succ, then there's a very good possibility you can kill things. But I just wouldn't suggest using it. I would just take the forward guard of Equilibrium Break, honestly. Equilibrium Break is also kind of a slow animation, so I only use it every once in a while. There's a very good chance it'll get you killed because it's only a forward guard. So it's a forward guard, but the animation is like a little bit faster than Aqua Gel, and then it also has an AP debuff on it. So if you do a tick of that, they'll have their AP reduced for a second. So I'll normally just do it when I know I can get a forward guard off and I know that the person wouldn't get behind me. So you go a little bit further to the bottom, you have your TP, and you have your ultimate teleport. So the good thing about Wizard is you have split TP, which allows you to go TP once, use abilities, and then TP again. So you can literally TP forward, and you can use like your next ability is Magical Evasion. So you get the Magical Evasion, you get a flow, you get to use Magical Evasion twice. If you look at the ability, the Magical Evasion ability, the Magical Evasion ability, you get to hop around a bit, and then you have Magical Shield, which it'll basically get your MP hit. You get plus 15 resistances for 30 seconds, and this you really have to make sure you have MP pots on for this, because if you use Magical Shield and you get hit, then it'll pretty much just delete your mana bar, which will pretty much leave you as a sitting duck and get you killed. You have Protected Area. Gives you 999 DP for 8 seconds. Sage's Memory. You can't use Sage's Memory. I don't even know why I have it on my hotbar. I don't know. You can't use it. I just kind of have it on my skill bar because it's been on my skill bar since Awakening came out. But you have to learn Sage's Memory in order to use Sage's Rage or Sage's Light. So it's an ability that you actually have to learn in order to learn your Revolve. So there isn't really an option of not learning that unless you want to go without one of your crucial skills. Next up, we have your passives, Mind Training. Pretty much, you just read your passives. Harnesses the power of fire. Fire skills can be cast instantly when they're activated by command. So pretty much what that means is you have to actually cast the ability yourself. If you use the ability from your hotbar, then it'll get casted slowly. So pretty much the fire combo, if you hold right trigger, it'll cast itself automatically. I wouldn't suggest going through a full flow, because if you go through a full flow yourself, then you're standing still for a long period of time. So you can go bang, 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 cast a fireball, and Meteor automatically comes out. So that's pretty much just a flow. When you hold on to R2 or right trigger, it'll cast the entire flow. But you pretty much, if you're fighting an actual person, you can do that on mobs, just for like keeping your fingers fresh, because Succession is a lot more buttons than Awakening was. But in terms of doing it on an actual player, you definitely want to make sure that you're like, casting some abilities, moving, and then casting different abilities while you're doing it. If you stand still, you'll pretty much get grabbed or get blown up in the spot that you're standing in. And then you have your other passives. Pretty much the other passives are the same thing, except for just with other elements. You have the freezing elements, where you can instantly cast the freezing elements. It's the same thing. So you can start with fog, cold rage, trigger, prime freeze. And that skill rotation is actually a lot slower. And then the electric passive, you can do the same thing with full take. So you start full take, hold right trigger, it'll automatically do the entire lightning combo. Do the entire lightning combo. And then the only other things left are really like monster passives, stuff like that. Rage absorption, rage transfer, emergency escape. Then for my bombs, I don't really use these two skills here. I don't use the earthquake ability. You can take the earthquake ability if you want to. I just choose not to, because I just don't like it personally. For your bombs, you can pretty much do Sage's Light or Sage's Rage. Sage's Light is a heal. This is actually getting nerfed in the upcoming patch, so Sage's Light, you will be seeing a nerf in one of the upcoming patches, pretty much. They're going to change it from 30% of the health healed to like a base number, to like 350 or something like that. So you'll get 3 ticks of 350 instead of 3 ticks of 30, which pretty much means you won't be healing back to full again. And then Sage's Rage is your bomb. It actually got nerfed recently. They've been trying to nerf Caster a little bit, because Caster on PC is kind of OP right now. And then that is pretty much the Succession kit. I actually need to level up Dagger Stab. I can use Dagger Stab in some of my combos, but I don't have enough skill points to level it up fully, so. To get your entire kit, you need like 2,300. About 2,300. It's nothing insane. Your main abilities, let's talk about like the main abilities that you really want. Like you really need max. MMA, you don't have to have MMA max. You don't really have to use MMA if you don't want to. Fireball, you want to get your Fireball up to get Prime Fireball. You want to make sure you have Prime Fireball Explosion. That's big time damage. You want to get your Meteor level up. Throwing this into a crowd of people, you really need people with this. You want to have your like high voltage leveled up. It's 1208 times 8, just big damage. Your lightning, just I would do this just for the entire combo because it hits hard. And then Earthquake is, I use it for movement, but it's not completely essential. It's like you can actually live without this. Earthen Response, I would just keep Earthen Response because it's a movement super armor and it's really nice. You need this. Your teleport leveled. You don't need Dagger Stab. Dagger Stab is essential. You don't need to level up Mana Absorption. Mana Absorption isn't really critical. You can get like the first rank of that and actually live with that. Magical Shield, you don't have to go too crazy on your Magical Shield until you have the skill points for it. You want to make sure you have your DPS skills first. If you want to have your Magical Shield level, like you can see, pretty much see the differences. So you'll still get 6% resistance for 30 seconds, and then you'll only consume 10% of your mana. And then at max rank, it'll consume 25%. You're gonna definitely level up your heals just to keep yourself alive in fights. You can go with rank 1 of Spellbound Heart. If you're not grinding high-end level areas, this isn't really a necessity. If you're grinding Fogans just to get Fogans in like other places like Polys, you don't really need this too much. You can one-skill the mobs without it. Speed Spell. Speed Spell, you don't have to go too crazy in Speed Spell, but obviously the movement speed is reduced by like 20% if it's not maxed out. Protected area. You definitely want protected area. With each level of the skill, it adds another second. So you definitely want 8 seconds of basically being immortal. This ability, you don't really use it too much in 1v1s. People will get angry if you use protected area in 1v1s. It's kind of like especially, I mean, if you use it open world, like, it's whatever. If you're fighting for a grind spot, then you use the resources that are available. But if you're just like grinding in the BA and stuff like that, just grinding fights in the BA, don't use protected area. Try to get used to fighting without it, because it has a really long cooldown after you use it. It has a 2 minute and 30-second cooldown, so if you're like extremely dependent on protected area, then you're pretty much just gonna get shit pushed in whenever your protected area is on cooldown. Sage's memory. You can go without Sage's memory early, just so you don't really need your bombs too much, especially at lower ends, but like later on, you're definitely going to want your bombs. Your HP passive, you're going to want to level up your HP passive, obviously. Mind training, casting speed is a big deal on caster. You want to make sure you always have 5 casting speed. And then your passives, you can wait on the monster passives, especially if you're grinding low in areas. You really don't need the extra AP to monsters early on. Then you have your elemental flows and stuff like that. Cast succession instantly after TP animation. So this is your basically splitting up your TP and stuff like that and your abilities. Like, you just want to make sure you have this stuff right here. And then these are automatically earned, so it's not too big of a deal. So that's pretty much it for like the skill guides. I'll do like PvP stuff a little bit after this. I'll like go over the basics of PvP and a little bit.